It's December 23rd, 2 days from Christmas. And before I go any further, I'd like to wish you and your families a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holiday season. Enjoy your family, and God bless to each and every one of you from my family to yours. All right. So, speaking of Christmas Day, we got a key NFL matchup. Two teams that are heading to the postseason collide as the Houston Texans will host the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas Day at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And right now, the Baltimore Ravens are a 4.5 point road favorite in this contest. The Houston Texans at 9-6 have already clinched the AFC South, and the Texans are coming off a loss on Saturday at Kansas City. But despite that loss, they're still going to be part of the postseason. Most likely going to end up as a number 4 seed. They'll be the lowest seed out of the division winners. However, they still have an outside opportunity to squeeze into the number 3 hole, depending on what pans out over the last 2 weeks of the season. And they'll need a win in order to keep those hopes alive. But you know what, folks? Number 3 or number 4 seed in the AFC. I don't think the Houston Texans have a big concern in that regard. So I think the desperation and urgency in this matchup, in my opinion, clearly favors Baltimore. Why do I say that? Well, the Ravens just knocked off the Steelers in their previous game, and that avenged an 18-16 loss at Pittsburgh. So they ended up their season series with Pittsburgh with a split. Both Baltimore and Pittsburgh have identical 3-2 records in divisional play, but Pittsburgh at 10-5 holds the tiebreaker over Baltimore for the AFC North Division lead because they have a better conference record at 7-3 compared to Baltimore at 6-4. Now, Baltimore knows that Pittsburgh has a tough game with Kansas City on Sunday. So with a win here, they have an excellent opportunity if Kansas City could knock off Pittsburgh to gain the lead in the NFC North with one game left to play. And it's basically if Pittsburgh loses, all Baltimore has to do is win out to win the division. So a lot at stake for the Baltimore Ravens. And quite frankly, I think they're the team playing a better football right now in this matchup. The Houston Texans, last 4 games, have struggled offensively. Why do I say that? Because they've only averaged 269 yards of total offense per game over that 4-game period. While the Baltimore Ravens, over their last 4 games, 29.5 points per game and 446 yards per game. So Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense has been humming of late. Additionally, Houston suffered a huge loss in that defeat at Kansas City on Saturday as they lost starting wide receiver Tank Dell to a dislocated kneecap, which is going to knock him out for the season. And and when you add that into their offensive struggles already, it doesn't bode well for Houston in that regard. Also, Houston 3-4 over the last 7 games. And here's the caveat here. It's really strange. 3-4 in their last 7, but they're a plus 12 turnover margin in those 7 games. It's very difficult in a 7-game period to have a plus 12 turnover margin and not have more wins than losses. And that's exactly the case with the Houston Texans. And I think that reverts back to their offense not being able to cash in on the opportunities that's provided to them by their defense. Baltimore, by the way, they've only committed 1 turnover in 14 of 15 games this season, 1 turnover or less, I should say. And actually, they committed 0 turnovers in 6 of their 15 games this year. So Houston ability to take the ball away and banking on that to keep in this game, if not win this game against Baltimore, they're going to have to do more than that because the Ravens do not beat themselves with turnovers. The other part of the equation here is Baltimore's defense. I know we give a lot of accolades to their offense, and rightfully so. Baltimore's defense really hasn't been great this year compared to past Baltimore Ravens teams. But over the last 4 games, they've been solid, allowing only 19 points per contest and 278 yards per game. This is a Baltimore team that scored 30 points or more in 9 of their last 12 games this year. The Ravens are also 4-0 straight up in ATS in non-division road games this year, winning by an average of 10.3 points per game. So a lot favors Baltimore in this matchup. And I am going to lay points on the road, which I normally don't do. When we're talking about two winning teams this late in the season, and in laying points on the road, and not only laying points, but a sizable number in -4.5. It's not something I entertain doing or have entertained doing with any type of frequency over the last 25 years. So I am going to make an exception here. I just think the situation calls for it. I think, like I alluded to, Baltimore's a team playing with more urgency and desperation here. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens -4.5 over the Houston Texans on Christmas Day. Folks, couple specials you could take advantage of over at Wager Talk. Number one is if you buy our 30-day all-access pass from any one of us, it's $2.99. It's going to stay $2.99. The difference being we're going to give you the rest of December and all of January for that $2.99 price tag. Normally a 30-day all-access pass, depending on what day in December you buy it, it's going to be more than 30 days. And if you bought it today, I'm recording on the 23rd. We're talking about 39 days for $2.99. And if you do the math, that's dirt cheap per day. Also, folks, right now you can get a 365-day all-access pass from any one of us for $11.88. That's $800 off the normal pricing for a 365-day all-access pass, and that amounts to $99 a month. That offer is going to expire on December 24th, so take advantage of that as well, folks. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, just take a second to do so by clicking that subscribe button below. It's 100% free. And also take the time to click on that alert notification bell in your YouTube settings. You'll be notified immediately upon any of our great content going up on our great channel. And lastly, folks, if you'd be kind enough to hit that like button for me, goes a long way in showing your token of appreciation for me. And I certainly appreciate you. And it goes a long way in keeping these videos free as well for the foreseeable future. Until the next time, again, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, folks. God bless each and every one of you.